The nation is hurting, like never before. Throughout history, this country has relied on one constant to ease the pain, provide a distraction in times of great need: sport. It gives us a reason to smile, to cheer, to celebrate. It brings people together to forget the hardness and at times unfairness of life. But in recent days, even that has been torn away from us. The stadiums are silent, but the resilience of racing continues to shine through, as it has for more than 180 years. A look through history shows what racing and its personalities bring to this country. Like our most famous race, the Melbourne Cup, it has never missed a year since Archer won in 1861, even through 2 world wars. And what about Farley in the late 1920s? In a time of depression, he stirred the soul of a nation when hope seemed lost.
Farley simply played with them.
And what joy Bard and his wit brought to us all. His ability to share the track with battlers and royalty showed us that the racetrack is one of life's great levels. This millennium, it's been the feats of 3 ladies who have brought this nation together. No, make that 4. The Diva and her 3 cups, Black Caviar and her unbeaten 25, Winks, the greatest of them all. And racing's first lady, Gay Waterhouse. Gay has that incredible knack of lifting everyone's spirits.
Dates are back, they're racing.
And didn't we all cheer when she won her 7th golden slipper just last Saturday?
Game and fun, and another one for Gay Waterhouse.
Racing folk are a resilient and hardy bunch. Just 12 years ago, we survived equine influenza that threatened to wipe out the entire industry. Instead, it bounced back stronger than ever, and will again. In the toughest of times, we have turned to the track to lift our flagging spirits. Today is another of those times. They're racing at Rosehill Gardens in Sydney and at Bendigo in Victoria. The world of sport has shut down, but racing continues, survives for another day.
He used to ride out on the farm here, right behind me actually. We'd be on our ponies and he would be ahead of us because we couldn't be in front when he was the front runner. But he'd more than happily go around the farm with us in tow. And he was an incredibly kind horse that loved to eat carrots.
He was a fiend for carrots. He could eat a whole bag in about 5 minutes.
You talk of him like he's a child.
Yeah, he was a very quirky little horse and really a member of the family.
When the family pet went to the races, Simmy became Solvent, a warrior who refused to be headed.
I think he was competitive because he was just his own man. Like he didn't need other horses. He considered people friends, and he just kind of got in the zone really. Like he just loved being there for himself, let alone the other horses were kind of just there, but not necessary.
He was always ultra competitive.
He absolutely loved his racing. Loved to run fast, loved to race, very competitive horse. Yeah. Even if he went for a farm ride, he had to be in front.
Simmy ran like the wind. When he crossed the Tasman, he ran a bold second to fellow Kiwi, the Phantom Chance, in the 93 Cox Plate. And in 1994, he ran like the Clappers to win the Weight for Age Championship of Australasia. The prize money was $1 million, a life-changing amount for a hobby trainer. But the most magical part of this story is that fortune didn't change a thing for Simmy. He went home to the farm and to the beach and to the life he loved. Simi lived till the ripe old age of 27.
He was a people horse, loved people, and in his later years, if he got around the stables here, he'd beetle into the feed room, flick the lid up, have something to eat, and then put himself away in a box.
Hope you enjoyed hanging out for the day.
No, I appreciate your help getting me through the day. It was a lot different to what I'm used to. Great hanging out with Henry. I'm just happy that he's still talking to me since 2017, but it's been a good day.
You guys are back now. This is beautiful.
If I had to be in isolation, I'm glad it's with Richo and Chris. I just couldn't be happier.
And well done on Bud Fox winning the first at Bendigo too, if you don't mind. That's a first for 7 Horse Racing and Training, sitting with us, winning the first race at Bendigo. Hope you found a winner today, and there's a lot going on in the world. Hope you just had a little bit of comfort escaping today at the races. We'll do it all again next week.
If we make it all we don't, we won't be alone. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. If you're waiting all your life, you won't ever go. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine.
Trained Very Elegant has stormed home to win the $1.5 million Tancred Stakes at Rosehill Gardens. With James McDonald on board, the 4-year-old mare turned it on in the closing stages.
Oh, what a mighty performance by Very Elegant. She won the Vinery last year. A cheeky peep by James McDonald and a well-earned pat down the neck.
In the Group 1 for 3-year-olds, the Gay Waterhouse trained Shout the Bar held on to win the Vinery Stud Stakes from Probabile.
At Bendigo for a second year running. He did it on board 9-year-old warrior Hell of a Street, capping a dominant display for trainer Paddy Payne.
Kicks away again, Hell of a Street. It's been a big performance up near the lead, and Hell of a Street led all the way.
Those trackside, though, found a bit of irony in the last race with Big Night Out getting the win. And while staff were taking no risks at Rosehill and Sydney, the same couldn't be said for jockey James McDonald aboard Very Elegant, the Chris Waller trained 4-year-old, claiming an emphatic 4-length win in the Tancred Stakes.
Oh, what a mighty performance by Very Elegant. She won the Vinery last year. A cheeky peep by James McDonald and a well-earned pat down the neck.
Waller hinting a Melbourne Cup run is now high on his agenda.
20. 4-year-old mare, Very Elegant, powered away from a high-class field to win the $1.5 million Tancred Stakes.
Could this be Chris Waller's ticket to Melbourne Cup glory?
Oh, what a mighty performance by Very Elegant. A cheeky peep by James McDonald and a well-earned pat down the neck.
James McDonald producing a patient but perfect ride. Waller's 109th Group 1 victory has him dreaming of bigger things with Very Elegant this spring.
I guess Caulfield Cup would be high on our radar, and even a Melbourne Cup. So let's hope we get weighted as well as some of the other horses from around the world.
Earlier, the Kiwi trainer got in some last-minute track work of his own as those arriving at Rosehill were met with a sign of the times. Bars might be closed across Australia, but that wasn't an omen for Gay Waterhouse in the Vinery Stud Stakes.
Shout the Bar in front from Probabile and Nudge. Shout the Bar goes on to win the Vinery.
Jockey Adam Hieronymus saluting for his first Group 1 win. Waterhouse and Adrian Bott with their third in as many weekends.
To continue riding on for her and get my first Group 1 winner, it's a huge thrill.
While in Bendigo, the Paddy Payne trained Hell of a Street led the Golden Mile from start to finish.
Waited for what turned out to be a negative COVID-19 test for jockey Mark Zara. Catherine Murphy reports.
It's the sole sports survivor of COVID-19.
So now gates are back and they're off.
But things have changed. Trackside Fashion has a new accessory.
Okay, we've got the rubber gloves and we're all sorted.
With no one watching from the stands, it's not just the horses enjoying a gallop. Some made the most of the wide open spaces.
Chris Waller and Charlie Duckworth going about their normal Saturday morning preparation.
And presenters are attempting to provide broadcast quality commentary from home. Unfortunately, no one told Bruce McAvaney's dog.
I'm not surprised about Finchy, that's for a start. And there's Frankie, she's off. So.
Strict health checks were put in place as the industry desperately tries to stay alive during the crisis.
It's not a contact sport. I mean, some people might say, well, the jockeys are very close to one another at the barrier, but generally speaking, there is a distance.
The care of a horse naturally creates social distancing. You don't crowd around a horse when you are caring for it.
This week's temporary shutdown while waiting on jockey Mark Zara's test for coronavirus was a grim reminder that racing is just one confirmed case away from cancellation.
We know we're hanging by a bit of a thread, we understand that.
But shutdown or not, horses still need to be cared for.
We couldn't just turn off anyway. We can't just simply ignore the horse.
The industry is determined to find a way to persist, even if further community restrictions are imposed.
We have a huge array of quite draconian protocols now in place to ensure separation and to hit those biosecurity requirements.
Today, Zara was back in the saddle in Bendigo, putting his mount Masseuse to the test.
The third masseuse photo for there was
After a week where his negative test was the best news of all. Catherine Murphy, ABC News, Melbourne.
He's in a stable condition.